My mom was forced to have her left foot amputated. Take a look at this photo of my mom after surgery. Heartbreaking. Just imagine a cracked heel and yellow toenails leading to the loss of your entire foot. Hi, I'm Dave Bennett. I used to be an esteemed doctor, well respected in my community, and I've given all that up because of my mom. Or better said, thanks to my mom. Her left foot had to be amputated, and that's something I'm going to have to live with for the rest of my life. The reason for that is the monster that probably lives in your carpets and sheets as we speak, and can stay there and multiply for up to 12 months. Something that crawls into your system unexpectedly and never really goes away. Something that can suck the life out of you with an inconceivable speed. Yes, you've guessed it. I'm talking about fungus. It's the reason why I've decided to give up on Western medicine, which has failed my mother and me in a way I couldn't have predicted. You have the right to know what's going to happen to you, what Western medicine has been trying to hide from you for decades, what I've been instructed to hide from all my patients. And I'm not only going to tell you what it is, but actually going to show you. But first things first, if you're sick of that hideous fungus festering on your nails and skin, embarrassed by your caveman-thick toenails, tired of your cracked, bleeding heels making it too painful to get out of bed at night and walk to the bathroom, even though you've tried every medication cream, pill, and foot soak known to man, then you're about to ooze with relief in a short time from now. That's because new research reveals exactly how to disintegrate that stubborn fungus permanently. Stop people from staring at your feet in total disgust and return your yellow talons and itchy lizard skin back to baby smooth perfection. It's the truth. Recently revealed techniques prove that a special but easy combination of attack methods can make this problem vanish quickly, naturally, and cheaply, right from the home. Starting with an internal pain-free decontaminator that steamrolls the infection from the inside out and then provides a total rejection barrier against the evil fungus to prevent it from ever latching onto your feet again. The best part is, it works no matter how long you've suffered from this unsightly problem or how bad it's gotten. But you'll need to use this method I'm about to give you immediately, because studies also show that if you don't fix it in a special way, this horrible dead skin decay and toenail tormentor can become a permanent part of your body, even causing amputation or death. So keep watching this short video if you want to turn this into this almost overnight and find out the true cause of your creepy foot fungus, which was finally revealed after a genius doctor mixed ancient methods with new research in order to trace the fungus to its very root and unveiled how to fix it. Here are some of the things people are saying after trying it. Andrew Forsyth from Chicago, Illinois says, "Both of my feet were covered with fungus for more than 6 years before I cured it in under a week with these techniques. Several of my toenails on both feet had become fully fungus infected, all the way down to the bone. I had a lot of faith in the medical community and swore my family doctor would be able to cure such a seemingly simple ailment. Not. I followed this method exactly, and it destroyed all the fungus in my toenails on both feet. It feels so amazing to see normal-looking nails growing again." Christy Milano from Detroit, Michigan says, "I have long suffered with scaly, dry skin on my heels and soles, and nail fungus on all of my toes. Several months ago, I reached a breaking point when volunteering at my kids' summer camp. I got several disgusted looks at the pool. I have tried every treatment, from soaking my feet in Epsom salts to descaling with a file, but nothing ever seemed to permanently stop the fungus from returning. The day I found your treatment method and decided to try it, my life changed dramatically. The results were almost instant, and my nails and feet have permanently healed. No more embarrassing walks by the pool. Thank you." Bob Weinstein, MD, says, "I was informed about this protocol from a patient whom I was treating for diabetes. He had suffered with this ailment for several years prior to his diabetes diagnosis. Nail fungus is quite common among diabetics, and he was one of the unlucky ones. Through all of my years of higher education, residency, and daily care in my practice, I have never seen any cures for foot fungus actually cure this condition. I saw the patient often and was stunned to see that he had managed to recover from nail fungus in just under a week. I asked him if I could see the system he had just used. He brought it in, and I was elated to see the amount of research and development that had gone into the protocol, as well as the case studies. I will now be referring other patients of mine who are suffering from fungal infections to this program. Warning: what a lot of people don't know is that if you just sit by and let this type of fungus fester, or simply give up thinking you've tried everything and there's nothing you can do about it, then you're in big trouble. Not only because it looks and feels totally disgusting, but because the dangerous fungus can actually travel into your bloodstream and cause major internal damage too, especially if you've got diabetes, something I now refer to as the deadly spread. So it doesn't matter how long you've suffered from the thick, pussy nails, which will start lifting away from your nail beds if they haven't already, or scratchy spikes of dead skin on your heels that drive you nuts, causing you to pick up and tear at your feet until they bleed, or itchy, scaly red patches of skin between your toes that never go away. You need to stop the fungus now before it's too late. And here's exactly how to do it, naturally, at home, in as little as a week. It doesn't involve taking any nauseating drugs like Lamisil, which can also harm your liver, or using expensive, painful laser treatments like Novion, which cost up to $1,000 per visit, takes 9 months to show a difference, and can burn your skin and nails, or rubbing cream after cream on the infected areas in total desperation when you get no results. And you won't have to submerge your nails in warm water for hours, waiting for them to get soft just so you can trim them with nail clippers, because this brand new method will kill that fungus as if you poured battery acid on it, but with zero pain. So if you're like most people who have already gone to the doctor, took strong antifungals, tried a million home remedies, overpaid for garbage products that claim to cure nail and skin fungus but never deliver, and you're still disappointed with the results, then stick to this video like glue right now, because it's going to change your life forever, just like it's already done for so many people. Rusty Denton from Huntington Beach, California writes, "Man, I sure am glad I found your website. You guys have made me so stoked. I have had 2 of the nastiest big toes you have ever seen. Bad, man. I have owned a surf shop in Huntington Beach for the past 15 years and rarely wear shoes. We're a flip-flop kind of community. The younger, faster guys who work in my shop are constantly harassing me about my 2 big, nasty yellow toenails. I finally said enough is enough and spent several nights wading through BS websites on the internet, trying to find a real remedy. I was just about to throw in the towel when I landed on your site. Man, am I pumped this thing really worked. I am so happy I got rid of the fungus and it was so easy." Samantha Lowe's from Cleveland, Ohio writes, "My elderly mother is in assisted living and suffers from toe fungus on all 10 of her toes. An orderly had mentioned your protocol and said another one of those residents' sons had found and purchased the system for her. I inquired with a family member and ordered this program for my mother, hoping to relieve her discomfort. The first day she used it, she said the nails felt better. When I went to visit, they looked much better, and the color was coming back. In a few days, the fungus was gone. It has definitely made an impact on her overall well-being, and she has been so much happier. Thank you for adding joy to her golden years." Amazing, right? How great would it feel if you could watch your crusty nails and skin turn normal and healthy again? Well, it's totally possible with this completely new method, and I'm going to tell you how to do it right now. First, let me quickly share the story behind how I discovered this lightning-fast fungus eliminator, because if you're still with me, I know you'll be able to relate 100%. Like I mentioned, my name is Dave Bennett, and 2 years ago, my mom was forced to have her left foot amputated, all because of what she thought was just a simple toenail infection, which she had fought for years. Actually turned out to be a highly contagious killer bacteria. It poisoned her entire left foot without her even knowing it, eating through her nail beds and heading straight to the bone. You see, my mother kept her severe foot fungus problem a secret because she was so embarrassed about how bad her feet looked and felt. So it wasn't until I came over to visit for lunch on Saturday that I noticed she was limping through the kitchen trying to make me a sandwich and wincing with every step she took. I immediately made her sit down and asked, "Mom, what's going on?" She was embarrassed at first, but finally replied, "Oh, my feet are acting up again." Now, my mom is not one to complain, so I had no idea her feet even hurt, let alone that she'd been hobbling around in excruciating pain. But as a doctor, I had to examine what was wrong if I was going to help her, and when she reluctantly lifted up the hem of her pants and rolled down her socks, I felt like we were in a scene out of a Hollywood horror film. The toenails on her left foot were raised up off the nail beds, thick and darkish yellow in color, and the heels on both her feet looked like they'd been shredded and torn, with dried blood showing through the cracks in her skin. I couldn't believe my eyes. I meant it looked extremely painful from where I sat. But to imagine her standing and walking all day long at work, my poor mom, a kindergarten teacher in her late 60s chasing kids around all day long, no way, impossible. Not on those cut-up sore feet she was so desperately trying to hide from the rest of the family. I even took a snapshot that day from my phone, and I couldn't help but wonder how long she'd been suffering from this infection. Because no one in my family had mentioned it to me so far, and due to my busy schedule with patients, I couldn't always visit as often as I would have liked. Plus, this sort of infection had to stem from a chronic problem that would have affected her for many years, even if she decided to ignore it. But then I thought back to my childhood, and I remembered my brothers having athlete's foot all the time, which is just another term for fungus infection. They were addicted to Lotrimin, Tinactin, and antifungal sprays on their feet, which my mom had said was normal for boys, even though their toenails eventually turned yellow and started cracking. Well, little did we know back then that the same disgusting fungus festering on their feet actually burrowed into our carpet and had been attacking my mother for 12 long and painful years. Yes, as a doctor I can tell you that. Foot fungus is contagious. It lurks near your carpets, sheets, pillows, and almost everywhere else you can imagine. But the weirdest thing is, that's not the reason you actually get horrible infections from fungus. Only my mother didn't know it, because she was too ashamed to talk to anyone about it, even me, the son she was always so proud of for going to medical school. Instead, she tried all the popular remedies. But like so many other people suffering from this hideous, embarrassing fungus, nothing killed the infection or kept it from coming back. Over-the-counter medications like Lotrimin, which actually have an incredibly high failure rate in over 7 million Americans, were of no use at all at that point. So Mom went from spending $9.99 on bottles of sprays and creams to forking over $418 on a single prescription of Jublia, which only ended up causing more blistering, burning, itching, pain, and stinging all over her feet, and caused an ugly ingrown toenail, which her physician assured her was normal and would clear up. Yes, she finally went to a doctor without anyone knowing, but got the wrong diagnosis and medicine. Well, before long, Mom couldn't bear the agonizing burning pain, which brings us back to that fateful Saturday when she finally showed me her horrible infected feet and I demanded that she go to the ER. After a battery of tests, x-rays, blood work, even MRIs, she was diagnosed with osteomyelitis, a major staph infection that gets into your bones if left untreated for too long. Her doctor said there was a very low possibility that he could stop it from eating away at her bones, that it would most likely spread throughout her bloodstream and require her entire left foot to be amputated. I was absolutely floored. How could I not have known what was going on, not just as a son, but as a doctor myself? But my mom just said she thought everybody got cracked, dry heels and thicker toenails when they got old, that she never realized how dangerous it was to let this type of infection go. As I spoke with her doctor, desperately trying to figure out how to avoid a drastic surgery to stop the infection, they put my mom on a strong antibiotic 4 drip and checked her into the hospital. But it didn't work. Just like her doctor predicted, even after 3 grueling days hooked up to the most potent drugs they had, the infection was too deep, and my mom was forced to have her left foot amputated. My whole family was beside themselves, let alone my poor mother. Just imagine a cracked heel and yellow toenails leading to the loss of your entire foot. But it happens all the time if you're not quick enough to eradicate the problem. I don't mean to be gross here, but I think it's important that you see how serious this fungus is. Take a look at this photo of my mom after surgery. Heartbreaking. When my mom got home, she was suffering badly, not just from the sheer pain of having her foot severed, but psychologically from the realization that she was a widow in her later stages of life, and that she would never walk the same again, if at all. She fell into a deep depression, and none of us, not me, not my brothers, could bring her out of it. So I decided to take time off my schedule to be with my mom, since I was most qualified to tend to her at that point anyhow. But not even 3 weeks later, things got way, way worse. While I was redressing her bandages before tucking her into bed, I noticed my mom's right foot was starting to look as bad as her left foot did before they had to remove it to save her life. This sent alarm bells blaring through my head, and I called her doctor immediately. Now, as you know, it's tough to get a doctor on the phone, even if you're a doctor on the other end. But this man answered within seconds, only to confirm my worst fears. If we don't find a new way to keep the foot fungus from spiraling out of control, we're going to have to amputate her right foot as well, because her body is now resistant to the strong antibiotics, which means they won't even stop a minor infection. He was telling me something I already damn well knew, but I just sat there with my head in my hands, feeling numb. After all my mom's torture, after all of the horrible things she'd been through, she was probably still going to lose her other foot, strapping her to a wheelchair for the rest of her life. As I hung up the phone with her doctor, I felt my stomach turn. My mom was the single most important person to me in the entire world, and now that she was essentially my patient too, I was determined not to let her become a double amputee. That's when I went on a major hunt, searching through all the digital files of my patients who'd suffered from fungal infections over the years, both mild and severe cases, and decided to make some follow-up calls to 23 people. Well, about 3 hours of house calls later, I discovered that most of my patients were still struggling with infections, even though they hadn't told me about it, and I was surprised to hear how sick the oral antifungal medications made them feel, which is why they stopped taking them altogether. Basically just like my mom and millions of other Americans suffering from potentially dangerous fungus infections, they'd given up. Honestly, I could understand exactly why, because most of the major antidotes for foot fungus come from chemical drug corporations, and the side effects of those drugs are serious. When I say serious, I mean it. Just look at the FDA's public health alert at 2 of the most popular antifungal pills. FDA's advisory also alerts the public that both Sporanox and Lamisil tablets have been associated with serious liver problems, including liver failure and death. My mom's doctor had even prescribed her Sporanox after her amputation. I remember thinking, you've got to be kidding me. They just cut one of her limbs off. And now she was supposed to take medication that could cause her liver to fail, or even worse, death? I didn't allow it at the time, but it still infuriated me. So of course I stayed up all night long after speaking with my patients and feeling worthless, as both a son and a doctor, and began researching alternative treatments. Essential oils, Epsom salt baths, and 1,000 other popular remedies. But I couldn't find any solid evidence that these were powerful enough to really work on foot fungus. Plus, I knew my mom had already tried most of them, and her current condition was almost beyond help. Talk about hitting a major brick wall. But thank God I never gave up, because I was about to find the only answer that would save my mom's right foot from being amputated, and that could have saved her left foot too, if only I'd known about this incredibly potent remedy in time. Here's how it happened. I'd been studying and researching on my office computer for almost 24 hours straight, pouring through medical journals, case files, and cutting-edge treatment studies, and seeing patients in between, when the unlikeliest of people provided me with the answer I'd been searching for. His name was Tenzin, and he'd been my patient for only a few weeks before I had to take leave. He said he'd heard about my mom during my recent time off from work, and said he had the holy grail I'd been searching for, which was why he came to see me. Of course, my first reaction was anger at my nurses for giving up such personal information to anyone, let alone my patients. But I already knew from my short time with Tenzin that he was a type of good-natured person you trusted, who could talk the secrets out of anybody. Anyhow, he said he knew of a Tibetan medicine man, one who'd used a particular type of ancient Chinese medicine to completely eradicate the nasty foot fungus my mother had developed, which Tenzin had also suffered from for years. Tenzin showed me several photographs of people who this Tibetan medicine man had apparently cured. People with horrendous cases of fungus infection that would have made American doctors amputate immediately. Yet this ancient practitioner had miraculously cured it without the use of any Western medicine at all. Tenzin presented me with the after photos to prove it. He then proudly showed me his own feet, which looked like baby skin compared to his before photos, a remarkable recovery. His stories had just begun to impress me when he gave me the bad news. There was absolutely no way to contact this Tibetan doctor by email or internet, and I would have to travel all the way to Tibet to meet him in person. Well, obviously that was completely out of the question. There was no way I could leave my mom or my practice, even if I did think this man held all the answers to my questions. But Tenzin was so determined to get me in contact with this ancient guru that he arranged a phone call with the man. Now, this phone call took all of 10 minutes, but by the end of it, I was 100% convinced that this man had a unique, totally unheard of cure for the foot fungus that threatened my mother's health and life. And I could hardly believe I was doing it, but I took a little more time off and got my brothers to look after my mother so I could book a flight to Tibet. Now, I have to stop right here and tell you, I know this sounds crazy. Why would a doctor travel all the way across the world to document a foot fungus treatment, one that had no traditional Western medicine backing at all? Well, it's because Big Pharma had failed my mother, failed my patients, and hung us out to dry. Plus, I'd always respected non-traditional types of healing, and from my studies, I knew there were many powerful therapies for common ailments that most people had never even heard about. So yes, I traveled to Tibet. And when I met Dr. Wong, I was shocked. He was almost 70 years old, but looked barely over 50 and was full of energy. In my short time with him, Dr. Wong provided me with key insights as to why traditional medications had failed my mother. He said that nail and skin fungus are an after effect of a systemic infection, meaning that fungus growth is just a symptom, but not the root cause of an infection, and that sprays, creams, and prescription pills might confront the problem on the surface in a weak sort of way, but never solves the real cause. He said, when waste deposit builds up in certain parts of your body, it leads to bacteria being attracted to outside parts of the body, like toes or hands. Say you've got a buildup of congestion in your liver or spleen. That means your large toes can act like magnets for fungus. And since each toe relates to different parts of the body, like the pancreas or gallbladder, to eliminate a fungal infection from invading and spreading, you simply have to clear out the waste from the main organs connected to them. When I told Dr. Wong about my mom and asked his opinion, he refused to help her. He said that even with all his knowledge, it would be impossible for him to heal her ailments without seeing her in person. But I told him there was no way my mother could travel across the globe as I had to get the help she needed. Well, he must have seen the desperation in my eyes, seen my complete dedication to finding a cure for my invalid mother, because he eventually agreed. He said that since this was such a grave situation, he would provide me with a natural prescription for her. All I had to do was write it down for him. And you better bet, I grabbed a pen as fast as I could and started scribbling notes as he counted off 3 simple steps for her to follow, in order to banish her foot fungus for good. And I promise you're going to get each of those steps in full detail if you stick with me here. Because Dr. Wong's mysterious method worked. When I got home and gave my mom the 3 simple steps, she was so relieved she could barely believe it. But we hadn't tried it out yet, even though my time spent with Dr. Wong had already proven the miracle of his methods. Regardless, we put his techniques in action and waited for results, which I actually figured would take weeks, months, or, let's be honest, years, due to the horribly infected state of my mom's only remaining foot. But I was wrong, because the first morning she woke up after starting Dr. Wong's ancient fungus fighting therapy, she called me to say that her right foot started feeling a bit better. It was less achy, she said, and her heel wasn't screaming in pain all day. Of course, she was still hurting, but she was surprised and suddenly hopeful that even the little bit of relief she felt would last. Well, over the next couple of days, I visited her regularly, and the change in her whole demeanor was amazing to watch. And by the end of the 5th day on this treatment regimen, she was sending proud snapshots of her rapidly healing feet. I mean, just take a look. It was a crucial improvement, not only in how much healthier her foot looked, but how pain-free she felt. By day 7, she'd referred so many of her teacher friends to me for their skin and nail problems that I told her she sounded like a commercial ad. My mother's chronic foot fungus was cured with Asian herbs and a simple 3-step system in just 7 short days. So what were the 3 fungus-free steps Wong gave my mom? I'll share them with you right now as promised. Keep in mind, Dr. Wong sent me home with additional list and information, which I will also share with you at the end of this short video. But this is the main method behind his brilliance. Step 1. Eliminate internal fungal activity by using natural antifungals. This works without any side effects, unlike Lamisil, which I already warned you of earlier. What is an antifungal? Well, just one example of many powerful antifungals Wong listed is activated charcoal. Now I know, it sounds like a weird item at a 4th of July barbecue that you'd never think of purposely ingesting, but it's actually the opposite. Activated charcoal acts like a powerful sponge that sucks up the toxic waste circulating in your gut and allows your body to secrete them in your stool. But even better, it continually wipes your gut clean of fungal cells, which are always trying to invade your body, and shows them the exit door. Secreting them this way is a potent attack against enemy nail or skin fungus, which further proves that infections like these aren't just caused from bacteria on the outside of your body, but by an internal systematic infection that's circulating a fungal breeding ground of toxins. Step 2. Heal the damaged organs with crucial nutrients and blockade your immune system against outside attacks. Your body is always trying to mend itself, especially during sleep. And Dr. Wong's list of essential nutrients works to keep your body regenerating and healing on a 24/7 cycle. This step is extremely important because cells in your body are always dying and regenerating. But some people's bodies are gunked up with toxins, prohibiting new cells from reviving when they should. Take your liver, for example. If it's diseased, Dr. Wong prescribes a powerful specific combination of food and herbs to stimulate the regeneration of liver tissue and function. One ingredient he mentioned for regeneration is carvacrol, the active ingredient in oregano. It's both antifungal and antibacterial, but you have to know exactly what kind to search for, never to get the capsules. He also told us exactly where to find the purest sources of all these nutrients, and now list them all out for you later. Step 3. Apply a natural mixture of topical solutions to heal the infection faster and stop the spreading in its tracks. This is the last step if you want to win your fight against fungus, and it's important to apply the solution ingredients exactly how he says to, for maximum protection. This is one of the parts my mom is still addicted to because Dr. Wong also gave her a special soak bath recipe for restoring brittle nails, which was a mixture of apple cider vinegar, beer, olive oil, and 4 other high-powered ingredients. And yes, there's beer in that foot soak recipe. Actually, you'll probably be happy to hear that beer is a really good source of nail-protecting minerals because it contains potassium, phosphorus, and selenium, along with biotin, which are all crucial for healthy, fungus-free nails. And that's it. Just 3 simple steps to wiping out nasty, stubborn foot fungus in less than 7 days. But it gets even better, because if you want the full list and ingredients I mentioned, the complete system that saved my mom's remaining foot, which are usually available exclusively to Dr. Wong's patients, you can get them right here, right now. See, after my mom recovered so quickly and experienced such immense relief, she came to me and said, "You've got to get this treatment out there to everyone who doesn't know about it. Think of all the people in agony trying to hide their foot pain, or worse, people like me who almost lost a limb because they let their infection go for so long. People who don't know anything about Dr. Wong or how much they need him. So I decided to fly to Tibet one more time to visit Dr. Wong and present him with the idea of helping him get this fast-acting protocol out to more people. But he shut me down. He reminded me he had a strict policy to only give personalized treatment plans to patients after they visited him in person. But I wouldn't give up. I told him that by creating a step-by-step program people could do at home, he'd not only save people from the pain of fungal infections, but also save their lives because people like my mom are too embarrassed to ask for help before it's too late. Either that, or they've tried all the drugs, creams, and foot soaks on the market, but still had infections coming back. I told him that if my regular patients could examine their own feet using his simple methods and then follow an all-in-one guide that contained treatment combinations for all possible foot fungus remedies, that together we could change lives all across the globe. And that's when he finally agreed to help me record all his decades of medical and naturopathic experience, all his secret therapies based on ancient Tibetan medicine, and combine it all together in an easy-to-follow master guide. He had just one rule. The book would have to respect his exact directions. As a doctor myself, I wholeheartedly agreed. Why would I want to risk altering the proven formula that finally cured my mom of her chronic fungus and saved her remaining foot from being amputated too? That's why you're hearing from me today, because no matter what age you are or whether you're suffering from nail fungus, skin fungus, rosacea, psoriasis, athlete's foot, or eczema, just to name a few, with conditions ranging from mild to extremely severe, you can completely heal your fungal infection with this protocol. In really bad instances, it takes a full week, but sometimes it happens in 12 hours or less, depending on the condition. After weeks of compiling all of his information, we put it all together here on this special site. It's called the Fungus Terminator System, and here's exactly what you get inside. The Fungus Infection Diagnostic Tool, page 8. In this section, it's literally as though Wong is right there beside you, showing you exactly what's going on in your body and what to do next. You'll quickly have the real root cause of your specific fungal infection, covering everything from toenails and scratchy heels to a broad range of skin infections including psoriasis, and find out which of your organs are problematic, breeding dangerous fungus. Then you'll get ingredients and dosages for your personal condition based on how severe your fungal infection is. The best sources of nutrients for healing, page 23. In this section, you'll discover exactly where to find the ingredients used in the Fungus Terminator System. You'll be shown the secrets to choosing the most potent sources available, and see how to avoid brands that contain cheap fillers like wheat and soy powder, because if you take an ineffective form of the nutrient, your body won't be able to absorb it. Note, it's easy to find the nutrients. In fact, you can get most of them from your local store. You just need to know what to look out for. The 3-step fungus fighting protocol, page 31. This is the main section, the whole enchilada baby, where you'll actually start the master protocol and finally become fungus-free. You'll get the specific day-by-day guide, which is hugely important because not only is dosage crucial, but consuming the correct ingredients at the right time is the only way to get these essential nutrient-dense combinations into your toxic organs and supercharge your immune system while also regenerating healthy skin and nails. And all it takes is minutes a day to banish fungus from your life for just $37. And like I mentioned before, it works no matter how long you've suffered from this unsightly problem or how bad it's gotten. But you'll need to hurry, because studies also show that if you don't fix it a special way, this horrible dead skin decay and toenail tormentor can become a permanent part of your body, even causing amputation or death. Plus, after seeing the proof and knowing your alternatives, which you've already tried or you wouldn't still be here with me, why wouldn't you give it a shot? Of course, you can go back to those risky oral medications, but besides the sick stomach, low energy, liver damage, or even heart failure, they can almost cost up to $1,800 a year. Or you can continue to apply topical creams that might numb or clear the area for a short while, but never really keep the fungus from coming back. Or resort to painful laser therapy, which costs about $1,000 per treatment, takes 9 months, and still doesn't get to the source of the infection at the root. Sure, you could go back to the same old methods, keep suffering since you're already used to it, and leave your infected and toxic organs untreated, which can lead to even more serious fungal infections down the road. But do any of these really sound like good options anymore? When all you have to do to escape your daily pain, itching, burning, and embarrassment is click the little button below. Do that and you'll immediately go to our secure checkout page. Then simply enter your information and you'll gain instant access to the Fungus Terminator System. Try it for yourself. And if for any reason whatsoever you don't immediately love how your skin and nails start looking, not a problem. Wong and I are giving you a 60-day, 100% money-back guarantee. If your fungus doesn't go away, you don't pay. So there's simply nothing to lose except that horrible, dangerous fungus spreading into your skin and cells day in and day out. Trust me, go through this simple program. See with your own eyes how your fungal infections start to disappear, how your itchiness and pain fade within a few hours as you finally get your body and life back. Again, if you're unsatisfied for any reason, send us an email in the members area and you'll get a prompt refund, no questions asked. So click the button below to finally live fungus-free. And it's understandable to hesitate at first, because most patients don't consider taking much action until they end up in a hospital bed. Just ask my mom. They don't realize that the pain, itching, and misery of a rampant infection covering your heels, toes, hands, and many other areas isn't even the worst part, that those are just symptoms of a deeper and more dangerous problem, like blood poisoning or organ failure. See, it's weird. When I tell people they can finally heal their fungal infections, whether it's your thick discolored nails, or your scaly cracked foot skin, or red itchy patches on your face, hands, and groin, that you can erase even the worst infection in just a few short days. With no pills, no creams, no sprays, no laser treatments. Folks just don't tend to believe it. That is, until they try it. And that's the part that always makes me smile. The look of disbelief and total relief on their faces the next time I see them. That's why we made this special offer to you today. Because Dr. Wong and I started our very own holistic health clinic. And our mission is to spread the word faster than fungus and get it out to as many people as humanly possible. So go ahead and click that button now. Dr. Wong, me, and of course my own mother promise you that it's the best, most pain-free step you'll ever take. Oh, and once you do, please send your success stories to us. We love seeing all the amazing before and after photos from happy, healed clients. See you inside, Dave Bennett. Still here? That's okay. People still have questions after they first hear about this incredible fungus fighting system. So let's take a quick moment to fill in some answers for you. Question 1. Can you tell me exactly how the fungus terminator system works again? No problem. The fungus that infects your nails and skin are a symptom of toxic deposits inside your body. Yes, you can get fungus infections from walking on contaminated carpets or by sharing shoes, but only if your internal system is full of fungus-breeding gunk. For example, say your large toes have fungus. Well, that's due to liver and spleen congestion. To erase a fungal infection on the outside, you have to first cleanse the waste from the main organs and system on the inside, so no extra fungal or bacterial activity can thrive. There are 3 steps inside this main portion of this protocol. Number 1, eliminate internal fungal activity using natural antifungals, natural ones without any side effects. Number 2, heal the body with crucial nutrients and supercharge the immune system so fungus cannot survive inside your body. Number 3, regenerate healthy cells and accelerate the total regrowth of your skin and nails. Plus, you'll also get the fungus infection diagnostic tool and a list of the best sources of nutrients for healing. Will this system work for everyone? Yes, absolutely. This system is for anyone suffering from a fungal infection of the skin and nails, no matter what kind. It can even be internal. This program is also diabetic friendly. It is not surprising that it heals so well and so fast, since a large part of the fungus terminator system focuses on restoring damaged organs in the body. What happens after I click the Buy button? Go ahead and try it. After you click the button, you'll go to our 100% secure checkout page. Then you'll just enter your payment information and place the order. Afterward, you'll be taken to our private members area where you'll get instant access to the entire system. It's that easy, and all the materials can be viewed from your computer, your tablet, or your smartphone. They can also be downloaded and saved, or you can print them out so you have extra copies. How long does it take to see results? That depends on the individual, but from what we've seen, the average time to get your fungal infection fully resolved is about a week, while others may take hours or just days. Is there really a money-back guarantee? You bet there is. That's because we want you to feel completely confident in your investment, and we stand behind this amazing system 100%. And like I mentioned before, if you don't get the results promised or you're unsatisfied for any reason, simply send an email to us and you'll be fully refunded right away. Trust me, the only reason we can offer that guarantee is because we know without a shadow of a doubt that this system works brilliantly. Okay, I'm ready to sign up. How do I do that again? Simple. Just click the button below and try out the entire program for yourself. You've got a money-back guarantee for a full 60 days with absolutely no risk. So click the button below now, and we'll be waiting to hear about your results.